What's up, guys? Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, David Scott Bowles. This is the Photographer Diaries, where we talk about anything and everything photography. New intro song. I don't know. I don't know if I like it. I really miss the old track. I think I was so used to that with season 1 and 2. I might just honestly bring it back for season 3. It was just such a dope vibe. Like, it got me pumped, and I liked listening to it. This one, I don't know if I'm sold on. I tried another one too, and I just don't know if I'm sold on them. Like, it's tough, man. Like, I really love the last one. So, anyways, let's jump into it. Today's episode is kind of a free talk. I don't really have a planned theme, I guess is the word I'm looking for. I don't have a planned theme. I wasn't even really planning on doing a podcast this week. I've been kind of getting over a cold or something. It's not the Rona, but I don't know. I've had some really bad chest congestion over the last week, and I think I'm on my last day. It feels like it. So hopefully by tomorrow it's gone, and I gotta sneeze. Hold on. Wow. Yeah, so let's talk about some stuff. Obviously, Photographer Diaries is back. I'm super stoked. I'm super pumped. I did post a new video on the YouTube. If you are following the YouTube, kind of explaining that I'm going to be switching over my YouTube channel to the Photographer Diaries. So I have like 2 channels. I have like my personal channel, which is just my brand name or my name. And then I have this Photographer Diaries channel. And as far as like subscribers go and views, they honestly all get the same crap. So I'm not really like losing anything, but I really love the Photographer Diaries brand, and it's something that I want to pursue and grow into. So I think moving forward next year, I'm going to start posting all my YouTube videos there, not just the podcast videos, and see what happens. You know, I want to try to do a video a week, maybe 2 videos a week. We'll see, depending on wedding season, how busy I am next year and all that. I really want to pursue YouTube like heavily, and I say it every year, and then I never do it. And I have to hold myself accountable and really just create some cool stuff, whether it's vlogs, whether it's educational stuff or anything like that. You know, and the big thing with YouTube is the hardest social media platform to grow on, hands down. I mean, I've done everything from the MySpace days where I was in a band, and you know, we had a decent following, and then to, you know, now being a creator or a content creator with like Instagram and stuff like that. YouTube is tough, man. Like, I don't understand the analytics of it and really how to grow. Like, you see some people start a channel and within 3 months they're like blowing up. And I don't know. I know there's like a whole like science behind it or whatnot. But you know, we'll figure it out, I guess. If not, it's not about that. I mean, I enjoy creating content regardless. Does it get a little frustrating when I create content and like there's like 5 views on it because of the amount of work that's gone into it? You know, there is a lot of work that goes into creating content. Even these talking head videos is a lot of work. You know, I've streamlined some stuff right now. I mean, you can kind of see, I don't know if you can or not, but like my computer, can you see it? I think you can. Hold on. If you're watching you on YouTube, I'm going to mess up my composition. I'm not going to. Anyways, I'm running my Rodecaster straight into my into Final Cut. So it's just recording this audio straight in there. And then all I do is plug in the audio clip or the video clip, sync them up, boom. I can edit a podcast within 5-10 minutes. And you guys know that I don't do a lot, if any, post on this, I guess you would say. Like, I don't cut it up. Like, my stuff's very unedited. It's very raw, unless there's something that I really need to cut out. But this is the 3rd season, and I want to say I've maybe edited a few like clips. If there was like maybe some shit that I just didn't want to keep in there, or maybe some stuff that I said that I was like, probably shouldn't put that out into the world because, you know, people don't like me already. So, anyways, I've been getting over this cold congestion thing, so if I sound funny, I'm sorry. Um, but today's episode's all about kind of just speaking my mind and talking about like what's going on with my business, with my personal life. I guess not really personal life. I don't get too much into that, but it's just yeah. So let's just start talking. So one thing that I do want to talk about, actually, this is more based off wedding films and the wedding industry as being a photographer, videographer, and recently, so I shoot for two studios and then I own my own business as well. So the studios are kind of like when I'm not getting a lot of lead generation or whatever, it's just extra side income for me to shoot for these studios. But the cool thing is like one of the studios I shoot for, I really enjoy shooting for them. And I'm not going to throw any names out because I don't want them, I don't want to talk about them. Not that I'm talking bad about the companies, but regardless, I'm not going to say any names. But one of the studios I shoot for is like every wedding we get is just a banger. Like they're always fun, they're always good looking couples, they're always um, gorgeous venues. Like every vendor there is really cool. And I just shot probably my most, I want to say elaborate or what's the word? High end wedding, I think. And that was crazy. It was in Palm Springs at this place called the Parker, and which is like a little hidden hotel. Um, and it was just stunning. Like the amount of money that these people put into this wedding was nuts. Like the bride had like she had some designer dress. I can't even remember the name. I gotta look it up actually. It's on my to do list. So she had a designer dress, Jimmy Choo shoes, like just amazing. Like she looked stunning. She literally looked like what you see in magazines for brides. Um, the groom the groom is really nice. He's a really cool guy. They're both artists, and you could tell like they're fashion artists kind of thing. So like their guests were like dressed weird, and I mean not weird. That's a bad. They were just artsy, I guess, right? Weird for me because I would never wear some of the stuff that these people had on. But it was cool though. It was cool to see like people dressed like that at a wedding. It was different, and you know the higher the weddings you get, like the higher clientele, there are some like rich people out there that just treat people like shit. Like, and that's one thing that I really hate in the industry. Um, which I don't see it as much with like my personal clients for my brand because I always build a relationship with my clients. So by the time I shoot their wedding, like I've probably already met their parents and I've met like some of their friends or whatever, like, or you just have a good bond with the couple in general. And that I think is so important to be able to have that relationship or build that relationship because when you show up to the wedding, it's just smooth. Like everything goes good, and like the couple trust you. They're they know your vision. They know what you're gonna do. All that stuff, right? Um, so when you shoot with the studio, you don't get that. You don't get the luxury of that because you basically just show up. Hi, I'm your photographer for the day, and yeah. So you basically have like 15 to 30 seconds to make the best impression possible. So like this wedding I shot. Um, I showed up and I was a second. So usually a second always goes and he starts to work with the groom and whatnot. So I show up and, um, I go to the groom where the groom was, and right off the bat, I'm just like cracking jokes with them, trying to like warm them up to me and like talking to him. He had a really cool old Pentax camera, and I was like, "Oh, dude, you're a photographer?" He's like, "Oh, I just do it as a hobby." Like da 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 da. I was like, "Dude, that's so cool." I was like, "Yeah, I read your story. I heard that you have like a clothing line," and I'm just like chopping it up with him, right? And right there, like he's like, "Oh, like." He did his homework, and he liked that. And we're starting to talk, and the bride's father's there, and I'm talking to them. So basically, by the reception, like everyone's really cool with me. Um, and it was funny because I was only the second shooter, and this is where we start to get into like some nitty gritty. Um, the lead shooter, very cool guy, but just doesn't give a shit. Like you could just tell. Showed up with jeans on, New Balance shoes, his own brand company like jogger shirt. Um, and that's not we don't, we're shooting for another company. Luckily, and this is also goes back to the company too, is that like we should be told how nice the weddings are. Because for the most part, I wear the same thing to a wedding every day or every time. It's usually like some khaki pants, nice Cole Haan shoes, and a button up shirt. If it's a little more casual, like I have shot some weddings for my own company that were maybe, it was maybe a backyard wedding or very low key wedding. I'll just wear like a branded t shirt and like black pants and like some like regular shoes, comfortable. Um, so I think the company needs to be more aware about where we're shooting and say, hey guys, this is a high profile wedding, dress nice. Um, but I get to talking to the lead. I've shot with him before, and his whole attitude towards weddings is he doesn't want to do them. He just does them for the money now, and he just doesn't give a shit. And like you can tell, like I have to take a lot of the lead responsibilities, which I don't mind because I don't care if I'm shooting for another company or if it's my company. I'm going to try to do the best that I can do with the ability that I have and everything else, no matter what. It just doesn't matter because one, that this is, it should be a once in a lifetime moment for these two people. It's a super special day, and you want to do your best. You want to put your best work out there because even if it's not your company, it's still a reflection on you. And if you're an artist or a creator, you should always try to put your best work out there. Period. Um, so I was a little put off by that, and um, there was a couple things that happened throughout the wedding too that kind of was like it was like up and down. Like things are going good and then things are going bad. Because again, going back to that whole like super successful rich mentality where they just treat you like staff. Um, and that just sucks. It really lowers your morale. Like you don't want to be there. There was an instance where I was shooting the speeches, filming it. I'm on a monopod. Um, where they had set the people to speak was backlit with these really bright lights, and I needed to shoot. You always shoot in the shadows, right? The shadow of your face. So like right here, this is a straight on shot, so obviously it's a bad example. But if this was a wedding reception, I'd be shooting this angle right here, getting the shadow side, because it just looked better. It's more cinematic, all that stuff, right? Um, and there wasn't really an opportunity to shoot like this because there's only one main light source. The lead videographer didn't bring lights; he never does. He just uses what's available, and there was just these big lights behind him. So if I were to shoot straight on, it would just be too dark, and I'd either have to blow out the background or just let him be dark. So the only good angle I had was like a profile side, which looked really good. Um, but I was standing in front of somebody. He didn't. He wasn't important, I guess, and like that's shitty to say, but he wasn't like the father. I think this is my rule of thumb. And when I first started doing wedding photography and videography, I would always be so self conscious of these times, like standing in front of people, right? And then I had a conversation with somebody and said, "Dude, don't." They said you shouldn't care because you're there to do your job, period. Doesn't matter. Rule of thumb is as long as you're not standing in front of the parents or the grandparents, you're fine, right? And this guy, he was just a guest. He wasn't anybody else. So I feel these like hands on my shoulders. And I'm like, at first I thought I was the other videographer. And I was like, kind of like, first kind of just did one of these, like, cool. And then I feel him trying to move me over. And I look back and it's this guy. I'm like, dude, what are you like? Gave him like that. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm filming right now. And then finally, I'm like, okay, fine. I just moved over real quick, because I had a quick opportunity within the speaker not talking for a quick second to move. But it was just like, how do you do that? Like, how do you, like, as a person, why would you go up to somebody who's doing their job and move them because you can't see? Like, I don't know. I was just really dumbfounded when that happened. So that's funny, but I don't know. I guess I feel like I'm just rambling right now. But yeah, I'm in the office right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, and I did just get some new podcast furniture, set furniture. These two cool chairs, I like them, and so I'm gonna start slowly building out my podcast back in the studio back there. However, I do really like shooting in my office. It just sounds way better. It's comfortable. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll do something in here depending on the size and the set. It is convenient because I can run the Rodecaster straight into my laptop. I don't have to unplug the laptop or anything like that. But I also have an extra computer right now that I can probably put back in the studio. I have it on a cart and everything, just clear off the cart. So we'll see what happens. And yeah, what else do I want to talk about? Sorry, excuse me. Let me get a drink of this Red Bull. Okay, seriously though, if anybody has any hookups at Red Bull sponsor videographers and photographers, especially wedding videographers and photographers. Um, yeah, because I drink these religiously. I would love to have a Red Bull fridge in my office and have access to Red Bull all the time. Cool. Ah. All right. Um, the new brand, Hayden and Harlow. Hayden and Harlow is my new wedding company, or my rebranded wedding company from King Collective. Really excited. I'm getting such good feedback on the name, the style, and where we want to take it. From everybody that I've talked to, like within the industry. Oh, I have something else to say too, which is it's kind of a bummer, but it's still kind of cool. Um, but yeah, so we are trying to pitch to this like mid-tier luxury market. Very similar to one of the studios I shoot for with clients that we get with them. And um yeah, I mean, I think that we are on the right path right now. We're waiting on our graphic design assets, which we should have, I think, in about a week. And then once we do that, we're doing a whole like kind of like rollout video, like a meet the team, because I'm bringing on my, which he's going to be on the podcast hopefully here in the next couple days. He's sick right now. He's supposed to be on it, but he got sick, and then I'm getting over getting sick. So we're like, let's just wait till we're both good. But my buddy Fareed is coming on board as kind of a partner within the company, and he is going to be taking on a lot of the photography roles, so I can kind of focus on the video roles more so. And then we might kind of switch off on some weddings and see how it goes, because he does video as well too. So it's kind of cool that we'll have two hybrid minds, two hybrid photographers in the company. So the cool thing is we're building him a profile on the website so people can book him directly from looking at his work and stuff like that, or book me directly. So if they want to book me as their photographer, they can book me or book him as a photographer, vice versa. So I'm really excited about that. Probably bringing on another person too. We're looking for somebody right now to kind of get on board, probably on the video side of things, just so we have some options. I'm not trying to build this like crazy studio. I want to stay boutique, but I want to have options for people as well, and just to have a team so like we could take on some more work. I have some crazy goals, financial goals next year that I want to accomplish, and I want the company to do really well and grow. So, um, yeah, that I guess that's about it for that. We can move on. 2023, man, I am so fucking excited for next year. And one of the main reasons I'm excited is one, I want to do a lot of traveling next year. Um, Things are opening up again. And I talked about this actually in the video I just posted on my YouTube channel about going to Japan. And I cannot wait. Like, seriously, every day I've been watching videos on Japan, which I've seen most of them, but like now that it's like open, there's a lot more. Um, so yeah, in 2023, February, me and two of my good friends, one is a photographer, the other one is just he just likes to travel. And so we're going to Japan 9 days. We have a lot of places we want to hit up, a lot of photos that we want to take. I've been working on a coffee table book for the last going on 4 or 5 years now. Because COVID hit and Japan was closed for 3 years, I didn't reach my goal. So I'm hoping to go back multiple times next year, uh, as long as financially I can afford it. But yeah, February is gonna be dope. I'm super excited for that. We have a lot of weddings already planned too for next year for the company. The podcast too is obviously gonna keep going. I have some guests that we're hoping to get on the podcast here soon. And I don't keep saying that, man. I just got to do it. Like I just got to get these people on here because they said, "Hey, we're down," but with wedding season, I just was so crushed with work, and like I still have a couple galleries I have to finish. So yeah, it's been crazy. Um, but yeah, 2023, man, it's crazy. This year seriously flew by. Like it went by so quick that I'm surprised. Like the studio that I'm in right now, we're only a few months away from being here for a year, and it doesn't even feel like it. Like it really doesn't. It's crazy. Um, and we don't know. I don't know what's going on with the studio, if we're going to keep it going or not. We've been having my business partners had some health issues, and my other business partner's having a little bit of financial issues with some clients. He's lost some big clients, so he's trying to regain some of that. Um, and then me, like it's steady right now, but I might have just I don't know. We'll see what happens. Our rent is gonna go up a little bit next year. It's not gonna be anything crazy, but we do offer like monthly retainers, and we offer um, stuff like that. So we just gotta really like sit down and figure out what we want to do with the studio, if it's making sense, if it's making money, and that sort of thing. Um, and yeah, that's it. I honestly don't really know what else to talk about. Japan, the business, um, working with studios, and yeah, that's it. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate everybody who has watched this podcast from the beginning. If you like what you are listening to, or if you like what you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, guys, subscribe, leave a like, comment, all that stuff. Oh, I got a cough. All right, guys. So I'm gonna keep this one short. I've been rambling on. I've been talking about a bunch of random stuff. Anyways, I just wanted to say thank you so much for everybody who has supported this channel, supported the podcast. If you're listening on to Spotify, Apple, all that stuff, leave a review. Really helps the channel out. And then if you're watching on YouTube, remember, like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Um, yeah, that's it, guys. I don't. This isn't. I got 2 more episodes this year, and that's it. And then we're going on to next year. So I'd love to get some feedback, and if you have any questions, or if maybe you want to be on the podcast or something, go ahead and shoot me a message on Instagram, or send me an email at thephotographerddiaries@gmail.com. And that's it. Peace.